Because space is so tight in the laundry room, I wanted to bring the gear out here and give you a complete breakdown. This is the packed version of the 10-gallon vertical mash tun first system. So from top to bottom, we have our mash tun. Here we have our single hitter kegerator. Thermal wrap for the pots. Pot lids, pots stacked inside of each other for space saving. Wort chiller, electric immersion heater. Kegs, I usually keep 4 under here. Laundry, because it is in the laundry room. And over there I have the CO2 tank. Having a long CO2 line kind of gives you some flexibility as far as where you want to place that. Otherwise, for this system, I did include some measurements in the supplementary material, but your measurements are going to differ a little bit based on whether you have pin lock kegs or if you have Pepsi kegs. Those are a little bit different dimensions, as well as your pot sizes. You may need more or less space depending on that. So let's go ahead and unpack it and take a look. Here's what the system looks like unpacked from top to bottom. Here we have the mash tun. We have our strainer face down to protect the rubber stopper, valve closed, and muslin lining the mash tun. Down here we've got our boil kettle in place. Remember, you want to use the bigger one here so you don't reverse them. And also, if you notched your pot, have the notchings in the back looking at you, that way you can read them. Over here we have our strike water, and down here we have our grain. So with the immersion chiller, we're bringing it up. We get our strike water at the temperature that we want, and when we do, just take the lid off. You'll take your baler here, and you'll scoop the water in here in maybe increments of a third. After you put in a third, put in some grain. You can use a baler, or you can dump the whole thing in. After you get all your grain and your strike water in, give it a good stir, make sure everything's wet. Take a temperature. Record that temperature. If it's where you want it, you'll close up the mash tun, then you'll wait 60 minutes. At that point, with your closed mash tun, and after 60 minutes, you'll open the valve and you'll load her into the empty boil kettle here. You should have been heating your sparge water while you were waiting for this. So as this drains in here, this is coming up to temperature. After you've collected about what you think you're going to get out of the mash tun, close the valve, take your sparge water, put that in. If you want to conduct a mash out, that's cool. If not, you can start the lauter, open the valve, and collect your pre-boil volume. At that point, take out a sample, measure your pre-boil gravity, and move your immersion heater into here and start your boil. After you start your boil and you add your hops, you'll take this, and because it's in the boil the whole time, it will be sanitized by the end. They say it only needs 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Like I mentioned, we don't have a lot of headroom here, so we just keep it in through the whole duration. Take your wort chiller, hook it up to your spigots, have that ready. After you've done your 60 or 90 minute boil, you'll kick off the heat stick and you'll start your chill. After you've started your chill, you bring it down. When you get it down to 18 Celsius or 64 F, you'll start a siphon from here down to here. So we're working with gravity. We take the effort and we bring it all up here, and then after that, everything uses gravity down. After we get this at 18 Celsius, 64 F, aerate, pitch the yeast, and bring it back up here in a water bath. If that's too heavy, you can bail slowly into your fermenters up here. But with the stool and bringing it up, 2 hands, it's not bad. There's less things to go wrong and less sanitization needed. If I were to redo a single thing with this, and I've probably brewed on this 50 times, the only thing I would do different is I would get an ale pail. I would get 2 ale pails without the spigot, because the ale pails can stack within each other. Then the ale pails can stack inside the pots, which stack within each other, and then the immersion chiller goes within the ale pails. But other than that, I'm extremely satisfied with this, and the efficiency is awesome, and it makes me happy.